Okay friends, so in this lecture, let's set SPF, DKIM and DMARC records. Let's start with SPF. Before we set it in my DNS zone, let's see what is SPF simply. I will not make things complicated, just as a brief explanation, SPF stands for Sender Policy Framework. Simply, this record will identify which domains are allowed to use this server to send from. So let's say somebody else having other domain name wants to use your mail server. Maybe he hacked your credentials in some way and he wants to send using your own SMTP. When you identify in the SPF record that only your server can send using this domain, then that hacker or anyone trying to send emails using your SMTP will not be able to do this. So let's set the SPF record. First thing you have to do is to open your DNS management zone in GoDaddy, and let's go to our virtual mail server again and go down to server configuration. Here we have the DNS records. You can see here we have this SPF record. Let's manually edit records to see the full SPF record here, and let's copy it and click on copy, and let's go back to our DNS zone, click add, and let's add a text record and set the host as the @ symbol, which means pointing to my domain, and set the text value of the SPF record and click on save. If you notice here in the SPF record, you can see the IPs that are allowed to send. So this domain is used only by these IP addresses, which is the IP of our machine. So this is how we can set the SPF record. Let's now move on to the DKIM, or the Domain Key Identifier record. So what is DKIM? To make things very simple, a DKIM record is a signature that identifies your domain. So when you send an email, the recipient will then check the signature by using some hashing algorithms. It's out of the scope now. Just know that he will verify using the DKIM that the message was originated from that domain. So this DKIM briefly, let's set up in our domain zone. Before that, we have to go to webman here, and we must go down to email settings, and here we have something called domain keys identified mail. Open it and you have to enable it. Click install now, and let's wait a little bit, and now webman will enable DKIM and generate a record for you in the DNS. Very nice, that's it. And this is the domain key options. This key has a certain size of bits. Just now click on yes for signing of outgoing mail enabled and click on save. And now we must have a DKIM record in our DNS zone. Let's wait a little bit. Alright. You can see now the DKIM record is here. Let's go back to our server configuration, DNS records, and we will have now this DKIM record. Very nice. Let's manually edit records to open this key, and here we are. So let's copy this identifier here, click copy without a domain name, and go to my DNS zone, click add a text record and paste this identifier, and the text value you need to paste the DKIM value, which is this value here. You can see it's somehow long. You need to ensure to select it properly. If you want, copy this value to a notepad document, paste it, and be sure to remove every spaces and double quotes, unused double quotes in this way. Okay, and remove all spaces and line breaks, and that's it. I will copy it and go to my DNS zone and paste the value here and click on save. Very nice. So this is my DKIM record is set. Now we still have the DMARC record. So what is DMARC? Simply think about it like this. It's a reporting service and it's deployed with SPF and DKIM. So if anything weird happens, any failure happens, the DMARC is responsible for reporting this. Where to report and how to report is the responsibility of the DMARC record. I'm trying my best to simplify things. I don't want to make things complex and talk a lot. I want to concentrate on our concept. If you want more details, please contact me and I will be with you in any detail you want about any of these records. So now, this DMARC, let's set it up in our DNS zone. Okay, so in the same way, click on Add and select Text Record. And now, we need to set the value of the DMARC. To make things simple, I create a sample DMARC record to explain to you. And here is the form of the DMARC. Simply V is the version of the DMARC we are using, it's version 1. P is the action that will be done when we have a failure in authentication. None means we will have no action, we will only report. You can set this to reject or maybe to quarantine and so on in this value. And here you can see we have two mail addresses, one for the RUA, which is the email where you want to receive aggregate reports, and the RUF where you want to receive forensic reports. So now just copy this record and go and paste it here in the text value, and I will add a DMARC identifier here and simply click on save. Very nice. So now I set up DMARC, DKIM and SPF. Now if you want to verify these records before continuing, you can go back to the MX Toolbox website. It's very powerful and I use it always to troubleshoot my servers. And here click on more and we can see all the services here. We can see the SPF, DKIM and DMARC. So let's open SPF, DKIM and DMARC lookup to check if they are working. I will paste my domain name here in the SPF record check and click SPF record lookup. And let's wait. Awesome. You can see this is my record and everything is fine concerning SPF. Let's go to the next one, which is DKIM. Enter your domain name here and the selector is 2019. Why is that? Simply because you can see here is the selector 2019 in my DKIM record. So let's check it. DKIM lookup and let's wait. And awesome, you can see this also the DKIM is here and everything is fine. You can see the value of each one and the key and everything. And then we have the DMARC tools. Let's paste the domain again and click on DMARC lookup and awesome. So the three records are set up and everything is nice. By the way, you can see here DMARC policy not enabled because as I told you, we set the P record here to none, not to quarantine or reject. So it says DMARC quarantine reject policy not enabled. It's okay now. Just we set these records and now let's test again our email. Go back to mailtester.com and let's get a temporary email and go to Roundcube and click compose and send to this email. Let's set the subject now. Hey friends as an example and hi Sarah, how are you? This is a normal message. Let's send it. Go back to mail tester and click check your score. And awesome, we got 10 out of 10. Perfect. We have a small warning here about your message could be improved. It's okay. It says there is no HTML in your message. It's better to be an HTML format and so on. It's okay. So, and here down it says you don't have unsubscribe header. This will be automatically done when you send a real email. So this is it. We got 10 over 10 and now we are ready to continue to the next topic, which is warming our IP address for reputation, for better reputation. So stay tuned and let's follow up together.